Do you believe friendships can have rose-colored glasses?
Yeah. What's poppin'? It's your girl JazyJ. How y'all doing today? Welcome to my channel. If you're new around here, welcome. If not, what is up, Buttercup? I'm sure you guys have noticed I have some special guests over here. Jordan, you're kind of half out the frame, my guy. You're gonna have to scoot on over. Yeah, don't be shy. Don't be shy. So I decided today that I wanted to go ahead and do a mukbang. Oh yeah, today is Sunday, which if you guys don't know and you're new to my channel, it's a little something I do on my channel called Dear Diary WTF, where I talk about anything and everything that I could possibly want to talk about. And I've been thinking about this for a little while now, and I figured why not do a mukbang while we eat some Korean black bean noodles, also known as jjajangmyeon, and talk about either one or two topics, either toxic family or toxic friends, and we went ahead and chose toxic friends. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Jordan's basically going to ask questions. They're kind of already written down, so yeah, because we don't be remembering things. And we're just kind of like freestyle and answer. That's pretty much how it is. Oh, do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Or?
Yes, so my name is Jordan. I am, I'm not going to speak on things that I feel like I don't currently represent. Future plans kind of aren't really something for me to mention at the moment, personally. So, as far as I'm concerned, I am just, your friendly neighborhood friend, that's came to help at the current moment. But I got some plans in the future. Maybe you'll see me later on or something like that. But, nice to meet you guys,
I love it.
Name's Jordan.
Oh, all I gotta say is I'm Ty and I'm an artist. That's it.
Alright, short and simple to the point.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I'm trying to eat.
If you need to ship anybody, ship us, because we're actually together. So, there's that too.
I feel like they probably figured that out.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, the dynamics is already there.
You'll see.
You'll need to question it.
Yeah, I need to question the guys. Alright. Before we start, how do you guys like the noodles? This is the first time you've had them, right?
Yes.
And you look like it.
So as we eat it, right?
Stop eating yet.
Just understand, we're very hungry, and we have not eaten. So this may be more
God
eating than
has blessed
talking.
this himself. Like, came down, touched it, he stuck his foot in it. Like,
Man,
just.
Oh my god. Well, I'm glad you guys like it. Well, let's go ahead and get into those questions. Jordan, take it away. Oh, he's got food in his mouth. Okay.
It's alright.
It's all
You can multitask.
Okay.
So we're starting with friends because, well, to be honest, we can honestly just do friends into, family, but we could so friends and relationships. Okay. So to start off, what are some characteristics and traits of some toxic friends or relationships that you guys have had in the past?
I don't want to stick with zodiac signs, but a lot of them were Leos.
There you call my brother out.
I'm just saying that was a similar comparison, but a lot of them were Leos. But characteristics. Give me a second, because for some reason they were all the same. I just gotta.
Jazz, pawning off to you. What you thinking? What you thinking, man?
I would say some toxic things. One that's personally happened to me is if they say, for example, you're in a friend group, right? And the other friends you're not so much close to is just like to one particular person. If they were to say something, if they were to normally invite you to hang out, but then all of a sudden they just kind of stop inviting you, type of thing, and then when everyone else asks, where were you, why didn't you come, they then say, oh well, they weren't able to make it, when in all actuality you were never invited. You never knew about them.
Right.
Okay.
And you don't know until one of the other friends of the friend group asks you later on,
Hey, why didn't you come?
yeah, type of thing. And it's just like, that's odd, because I don't ever remember knowing about it in the first place.
Right.
I would have let you know that, yeah, I could have come, I could have hung out, but
We've all had some great cases like that. Too many.
So that situation, it's like, Well, I mean, I'd hope that the people that are surrounded by me are honest with the people that they're surrounded by as well. You know, because honestly, like on some cliche stuff, honestly, is the best policy. Like, let's be honest, you know, because then you won't have to backtrack on different answers, and you know, you won't have to explain yourself too much more than what you were feeling at the time. Whether or not it hurts feelings, it's not like, you know, when it hurts feelings, it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just, hey man, I don't know why you're feeling emotional about my answer, but this is my answer. I can't really do anything about that for you. You know, so I mean, in terms of like toxic friendships for me,
another thing that's pretty toxic is kind of like that jealousy standpoint, where it's like if you wear a clothes, brand spanking new, you know you look good in these clothes, like you know you're looking fly, and then the first thing out of their mouths, like everyone else is complimenting you, the first thing out of their mouth is like, you're gonna wear that? It looks kind of trashy. Like, I'm like, I know I look fly. Everyone else knows I look fly. The little old lady down the street knows I look fly because she said it. But you're the only one that has an issue. That's suspect.
Okay, so do you not feel like that could potentially be like constructive criticism? I'm gonna play devil's advocate because like
Always,
you know.
he always does.
Oh yeah,
It
it's
could be
fine.
constructive criticism, but at the same time, if it keeps happening,
Yeah, it's always
then that's
something
different.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
We ain't got nothing positive to say.
Right.
Nothing positive? Okay.
I'm just like, Or on the flip side, if you're doing the same thing, roughly, or you're like in the same field of interest, and they're doing stuff, and they're quote unquote ahead of you, but then you try to not so much follow in their footsteps, but still try to make like substantial strides, and they say, oh, you're not ready for this.
Yeah.
Like, who are you to tell me that I'm not ready?
Well, do they provide reasonings behind such things? You know, because that's different. It's different when somebody kind of approaches you with just like, you know, straight phrases of just disencouragement towards your goals, versus when somebody says, "Hey, I personally don't feel like, you know, like you're ready for this situation. Let me explain why." It's different, you know.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that, because it's more so, I've had those conversations as well. It's like, I think you might want to rethink this because you might be missing something. It's like, you know, take your time, take a step back, think about the situation. Where are you right now? What is your plan to get there? How are you going to get there? What are you going to do when you get there type of thing, rather than just oh, you shouldn't be doing that.
That's a lot of planning.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, bro. I just be crossing bridges when I get there sometimes. I don't know. And then sometimes it just comes all out. But also, you know, you also have that.
Like sometimes they need to hear it, so.
Yeah. You also have that added discernment of like, hey, this is a person I care about. So let me not phrase it in a very destructive way. You know,
But at the same time, sugarcoating shit don't help.
Yeah.
Sugar. I mean, that's a fact. That's a fact. Sometimes you do need to hear it blunt.
Yeah. I'm like, the real world won't tell it to you bluntly, so I'm like, I gotta get you prepared for it too. Like, this is coming out of a place of love. Hopefully.
Well,
Hopefully.
that's the thing. Because sometimes, even with people you love, right, you gotta set that ground rule where it's just like, hey man, what I'm about to say may hurt you, but honestly, I'm saying it in hopes that you'll improve upon this thing that I'm saying. You know, because it's different.
Yeah, I say you gotta start with something like that.
Yeah, it's different when it's just like.
I'm like, then it wouldn't come off as toxic, or
Right.
I'm like, okay, I see you're just at least trying to make an effort for the relationship. You're just like, I see this problem, trying to let you know so you can be the best version of yourself. Sorry, like this.
Okay. I think another toxic trait is that sabotage.
Saboteurs? Ah, yes. But yes.
Indeed.
Do you have an example? And not only that, right?
No, I do.
But
Indeed,
you also think about this, right? There's two different sides to this. Because it's like, does this person that's sabotaging you know that they're sabotaging you? Or are they just emotionally in pain and they don't know how to express said pain? You know, and this is why we got to get to an specific example, you know, maybe to talk about it from both sides.
I'm thinking about more like, if it comes to being in a relationship, like a romantic relationship, or if it comes to a job. Like, you know I'm trying to do better for myself. You see that I'm working really hard, but yet you go to my potential employer and you lie. See, that's unforgivable.
That seems like blatant sabotage.
Yeah. Indeed.
You know, does that happen?
That's never happened to me.
That's happened to you?
Not job-wise.
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
But I have been sabotaged in terms of relationships.
Wait, it's with you. What do you mean? Oh wow.
Okay.
Like, what do you mean? Oh wow. We
I
both know the story.
matter of fact, she has a point. So the thing that she's getting at is it's funny because, are you okay with me telling the story?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
I'm over it. It's years.
So
years
I'm not gonna call her by the nickname because I feel like that's too disrespectful. All right, but let's just call this girl. It's gotta be something with a C, right?
I don't think so.
Girl A.
Yeah, that's what
Girl A, nah, I'm gonna call her Sally. Sally. I mean, why not, bro?
Yeah, nickname for celery.
Shelly, whatever, bro. So, Shelly, right? She was actually my girl's best friend, Ty's best friend, and I was like,
I'm sorry, I can't claim that no more because it was clearly fake.
sometimes
I'm sorry.
We can't claim it, but I mean, for the time, was it at least like good while it lasted?
It was a decent friendship. That's what I can say. That's all I can say. It was a decent friendship. I had better ones than that, but of course I would cherish all friendships, but clearly it wasn't as important. So
Shelly, right?
There you go.
So Shelly, she'd say stuff to me like directly sabotaging, and this was like when we was first getting together back in high school and stuff. And she would say stuff like directly sabotaging, like my opinion of her, like, oh yeah, well she stabs people in the back, she actually steals things from the store and different things like that. And mind you, right?
That's the first time I'm hearing that shit.
Because this is
stole.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes I may be exaggerating.
Okay.
However, at the same time, right? I might exaggerate for the story. Anyway, right? So, me personally, like, this is weird coming from her, considering the fact that I used to go over their house every day, and they'd just be chilling together. You know what I'm saying? It'd be just them two, regardless of whether or not I was there. You know, this is when I was trying to court this young lady. You know, so it was like, it was very odd to me. And I was always just the friend of like a lot of females. I have a lot of female friends. So it was very odd to me that she would mention something like that. And this was only after the conversation that I had where, you know, I was saying, hey, I'm thinking about dating Ty, you know, because that's her best friend. And that's also one of my best friends. I felt like I could come to her in confidence. But it was one of those situations where it's like that best friend actually wanted me. So
Made zero
she
sense.
put in effort to try to directly sabotage me in her relationship. And you see who won at the end of the day. But it's like, you know,
it was just my thing. I was just like, yo, she was dating somebody at the time. So I was just like, yo, I could understand if you weren't. You're trying to pursue him as well.
She was telling me.
But you're dating someone and you're like, no, I want to date him. Okay. You don't make any sense. You can't have both. I'm like, we ain't in the polygamy shit here. Not a lot of people are into that though, but he's most definitely is not.
I tried. Didn't work out.
I don't know, but I'm too jealous for that. I'm way too possessive.
I realized that.
That's exactly his thing. He was just like, mate, no. It was just mate, no, not even maybe.
The maybe almost got out.
Yeah, no, not at all.
We've discussed that, but that's a different topic for another day.
Exactly.
You know, that's a
But it was
relationship advice type situation. Because I actually wrote a paper on polygamy versus monogamy back when I was in high school.
I like my kids to all have the same father.
Yeah.
That's what I
just
want.
that. It's more
I know.
like,
I would want
like I was thinking like
I'm
in
sorry,
terms of. No, you're fine.
But I'm
Because
sorry. That's what I'm thinking when I think of polygamy I'm just like,
What about the kids?
I don't want to say what about the kids, but at the same time, the energy that has to be output for like those other relationships that you have, because they're all different, all a different relationship. If you're gonna have multiple people, they're all gonna have different needs. I don't have the time and energy for that. I'm like, only just with you, I'm tired. So
I'm a handful, fair enough. Fair enough.
So I can't imagine even having a second person into this, and I'm like, yo, I got to know their interests, their likes, and pursue them romantically.
That's too much effort,
right? I'm like, I can't do that.
Sometimes you got too much going on in life. You kind of can't juggle all that.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I feel like it's too much, just eating too much off your plate. Nah, no, thank you.
There's different ways to look at it.
Hey, it's for some people. It's for some people. I'm not gonna doubt, like, or bash on anybody else's lifestyle. If you can do it, more power to you.
Props
All
to
I'll
you.
say, yeah.
Props to you.
Yeah. All I'll say is that if you're getting your
23
romantic
tired.
needs met by one person, then you should be fine.
Should be.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you should be fine, and you should learn to appreciate said person, because it's like you'll miss them when they're gone. You know, like the whole taking people for granted thing that happens a lot. So there's a reason that we admire relationships that go for so long. There's a reason, you know, versus.
I don't want to romanticize older relationships that much, but
Well, yeah.
because it was only a lot of it is for circumstance. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic, but a lot of the relationships were for circumstance because it was easier for them to get through life. But
And women were nothing without men. So
yeah, so
couldn't
just
even have a bank
imagine.
account.
You got to have someone sign off on that. Just imagine.
You couldn't get married without a man. You didn't even have property to walk outside your own house. Be like, where's your husband? Where's your father? Where's your brother? Like,
And there's supposed to be a man with you. What you doing out here? Like,
right? Yeah, no.
I couldn't do it.
All right, I think.
Thank God that was pointing this time.
Yeah, right. I think we're good with the characteristics. What's the next question?
Alright, so next question would be, when is enough enough? Well, that's a very vague question.
Yeah, I
But
know.
I think I'll couple that with the second question, the next question rather. Do you believe friendships can have rose-colored glasses?
Yes.
And I'll put both of those onto the same thing. So it's just like rose-colored glasses and tolerance in relationships, and then add that to like what specific thing would be crossing the line, you know? And I guess we'll add examples in here, right?
Yeah, if you have.
Disrespectful.
Both of y'all side. That's hilarious.
I'm trying to like.
Y'all been through this.
What will I let slide? It's like.
What comes to mind?
But I don't like disrespect like this.
So I guess I could take off first while you think about that.
I'm just like I can't.
I'm gonna start off on the rose-colored top glasses. Answer is yes. Yeah, I definitely believe that relationships, but also friendships, can have rose-colored glasses, because it's not so much as that I'm in love with you, but it's more so a platonic. I love you. I love you as a human being, especially when you first together, because friendships can still have a honeymoon phase. Like, you love each other very much, you love hanging out with each other, you love talking to each other, whether it's a girl and a guy and a guy, a girl and a girl, a whole group of people. Y'all love hanging out with each other, and then something goes south. And it's like, where did it start? Where did it happen? What was the trigger that made it go? Because we were Gucci like 2 months ago, but now we're not, type of thing. And then it kind of goes from there, like, okay, well, is this something that we can fix, or is this something that's just like ingrained in one of us that you just kind of like, I can't do this anymore? Because I've definitely I've been seeing this a lot on like Instagram feeds. Just because you've known somebody for a longer amount of time doesn't mean that they necessarily have the best interest in you. There are some people that you've met 3 weeks ago that have a lot more interest and a lot more care and compassion for you than somebody that you knew 3 years ago. That's just kind of how I've started to experience the world, especially now that I'm getting more into my bag and like trying to better myself. A lot of people, for some reason, at least I'm starting to see that they don't like that. They don't like that I'm on the same level as them anymore and that I'm trying to elevate farther. Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely have some friends who are just like, yes, sis, get your bag, do your thing, because we're right behind you type of thing. But some other people are just like, well, I don't have that too, so I don't want you to have it.
What's the saying that you always say? The little crabs in the bucket.
Yes. So
the way you pull them down with you.
This is like crabs in a bucket. They'll pull each other down. You know, if they're all getting got, it's like, nah, bro, you're not gonna get one up on me, bro. You're gonna come back down here to where you belong, type stuff. And you know, on that note of like relationships turning toxic over a certain period of time, right? My question would be, like, is it resentment, or is it because first of all, like, you have to have conscious people in your life. Like, you have to have conscious people, because, and when I say conscious people, I mean people that you feel elevate your personal life. You know, not people that you're just, you know, hanging around. And that kind of goes into the family questions that we have as well. You know, it's not just people that you're hanging around. Okay, how about this? As you get older, relationships become transactional, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's more like, hey, I have my own life, you have your own life. If we're gonna do something together, we're doing it for a reason. You know, we're doing it to enrich our relationship. We're doing it so that it betters each of us ourselves, or we're doing it just for fun and we like hanging around each other. You know, it ends up being transactional in the end of the day as you get older, because you have less time to spare when it comes to, like she said, getting in your bag and working on yourself. So because of that, my question would be, like, where did you, like, I guess if we're trying to go to a specific situation, where did you start seeing that this person maybe started resenting you, or maybe started, you know, showing some negative emotions that, you know, you didn't agree with, or rather seemed like they came out of left field? Because it could have been building based off of a certain interaction that maybe you didn't notice.
Didn't see it.
Right. I guess if we're going off personal experiences for me, I think it would be more so, God, when I quit working at Costco. I think that's when it really started, because it's like, it's not that Costco's a bad place to work. It's not at all. But I think when it was more so, I need to do better for myself, and I'm taking these steps to do better, there was this sort of, I don't know if I want to say resentment, because I never really talked to anybody about it, but like, something about it just switched. It was an odd switch. It was just kind of like, I see that you're doing better, but like,
who said you could do better?
Huh?
But like, who said you could do better?
Right. Yeah. It was like, who said you could do better? I don't want to see you doing better. I want to do better.
You got to stay down here with us.
Yeah.
They don't express it in those words.
No,
they don't have to.
It's usually like a slow burn, and it's usually like, what I'd say is like moments of aggression. Like, and you're like, I wonder where that came from. Or moments of.
For me, it happened. That started happening like when I was younger. For friends, it would happen like once in a blue moon. Because friends, just like any other relationship, situationship out there, you're gonna get irritated with each other at some point. It's just gonna happen because people aren't gonna agree. But you start to see it more when it happens more. Like when you see that this person, whenever you talk to them, they're constantly irritated. They're constantly taking their anger out at you. They're constantly putting you down. They're constantly belittling you. They're constantly questioning you. It's that type of thing where it's just like, this doesn't seem to be healthy anymore. But then it's one of those things where it's like, you're done with a toxic ex. Well, what about all the good times? Well, what about this good time and that good time? And it's just like, now you're trying to suck yourself back into this situation where it's just like, no, this person is genuinely bad for me. Like, yes, I can still love you, but I can love you from a distance, and I can acknowledge the fact that you are no longer healthy to be in my life because you are just a bundle of rage, and I'm not on that wavelength.
Yeah.
So that's how I personally see it.
And that's not only that, but it's like people grow apart. You know, you know, like you get older and you start becoming more solidified in what you do and don't like. It's just a thing that happens. Like, oh wow, I mean, I guess the things that we used to like doing together, I don't like doing those things anymore. So now, you know, because of that, we're gonna stop hanging out.
It's like you don't know what you do like, but you do know what you don't like. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't like this about this person, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you out. But yeah, unfortunately, friendships, relationships, they all have to end at some point. Well, I won't say they all have to end, but some of them do end at some point. But it's not for a bad reason, I can say.
No, not at all. Sometimes it's just kind of like, you know, I'm kind of grateful that this ended because you were starting to get in my head to try and stop good, positive things from happening. Growth in my life because you weren't growing yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't hold myself back to wait for you. Oh, that's a thing that I think about a lot is like helping people, especially in terms of like mental illness. Oh, just so y'all know, and I know I say this a lot, we are not psychologists. We do not have any medical license.
I just have
this is not from a medical standpoint at all. Please, if you are experiencing difficulties, please go seek help.
Yes.
There are some things out there that like BetterHelp. I've heard of that. That's good. Again, it's not sponsored, but you know, that's a good place for you to go. You can always get a regular therapist. There are different things out there that you can use if you need legitimate help. This is just us.
Easier to access than it once was.
Exactly.
So it's there. The help is there.
And it's definitely much cheaper too. Some things you don't have to have insurance to be able to go and do that. Sorry about that, guys. The camera died, so we're just kind of gonna pick up at the next question because, quite honestly, none of us remember where we started at. So
yeah.
take it away.
I feel like the conversation is kind of went so many places.
So, and you know what the worst part is? These questions are like follow-up questions for the questions that we asked.
Yeah.
So
It'll make more sense because
right.
I'm connected all.
I'll go ahead and, you know, when it comes to toxic friends and toxic relationships, right? They talk about, has this ever happened to you? Which party? You know, maybe you were the toxic friend, and in that situation, you know, it's okay if you're toxic. And what I mean by it's okay is you need to learn that, hey, why am I toxic? Like, what patterns in myself and, you know, from the outside world is causing me to act this way? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's better to realize that you're toxic than to just, you know, think everybody around you is just toxic. You know, you should always self-reflect inward first.
Or just saying like, this is just how I am. I hate that shit. Just like,
yeah, no, don't
say this
that.
is me. It's just me.
Don't
like,
say that.
yeah, no. I feel like life is constantly you growing and changing, and you shouldn't just always be stuck in your ways because you could be doing a lot of things better.
Absolutely not. I think all of us here can say that yes, we've been in a situation like this before. Especially me and Ty. Personally, I've been on the receiving end of toxic relationships more than a few times. Unfortunately, I would say a big one. God, I've been in those type of relationships pretty much growing up, just constantly getting bullied. And then people saying that they're my friends, but then sabotaging potential relationships, like romantic relationships. Hence why I've never been in a relationship, because I got bullied out of even starting one. And then saying that they were still my friends type of thing. And even now, I still have toxic relationships, not even just romantic sense, just trying to do better for myself, trying to make my bag, trying to do my thing, be better for myself, and people just don't want to see me succeed type of thing. So they still try to bring me down, they still complain about whatever they're going through when I try to throw out like a life vest type of thing. Oh, I do remember that was the last thing I was going to talk about. I have this whole idea of whenever it comes to like mental health, I always imagine people, or not even just mental health, just struggling in general is like you're drowning. People always think of that concept of drowning. So for me, I've already gotten myself out of that situation. So my potential job is reach my hand out to the person who's drowning and be like,
Throwing them a life
I
vest.
can help you, but you have to swim to me. I'm not coming back out to see where you are drowning just to pull you back out. That's not gonna happen, because I'm gonna find myself drowning, or what you're gonna do is you're going to try to use me as a life raft, and then once
Push me
I get
down.
you there, yeah, you're gonna push me back down.
You try to get up, nah.
Yeah, you try to get up, and I'm not about to do that. So a lot of
Dumped too
people
many
are just
times.
like, well, I don't know if I can do it. I don't think I can do it. I'm like, if you don't think you can do it, then baby doll, you can't do it. I don't know what to tell you, because if you don't believe, then no one else is going to believe, and I'm certainly not going to waste my time helping somebody that doesn't want to help themselves. That's just not going to happen. So, but I think I've been on the receiving end of that quite a lot. Do I say that I don't have toxic traits myself? Absolutely not. Everyone's got some here or there, but I'll say that I do acknowledge my toxic traits.
I can have a sharp tongue.
Try to fix it.
Yeah, I'm about to say I just try to keep to myself. If I'm ever irritated, I kind of just, so I don't lash out at people. I kind of just take the time to myself and just like, why am I feeling this way? How can I not? Because I wouldn't want to say something to hurt somebody else or their feelings, because I know I can, and that can ruin relationships. So there are always toxic traits that you can always try to be aware of.
Have you been in those relationships before? On which side?
More so of the side of always letting things slide, even when it's disrespectful. And it's gotten to the point now where I no longer let it be disrespectful, and I'm still being disrespectful because I'm not letting them disrespect me. Kind of in that sense, like, why are you acting some type of way now? Like, why are you changing? Why are you being different? Like that type shit. But I kind of just, I don't care anymore. If you're gonna disrespect me in any type of way, I will try to be accommodating and like to at least like let you try to fix yourself. But if it's gonna still happen, I can cut you off real quick. That's it. Yeah.
Jordan.
Hey man, I was just thinking about a meme. Honestly. And the meme was like,
oh my god.
train of thought is
Where'd it
gone
go?
now.
Where'd it go?
It's
Alright.
gone now, bro.
Moving on to the
It's
next
all
question.
gone. It don't matter.
Oh my god.
Let's
ahead.
see. What advice on avoiding/leaving these situations? Advice on leaving.
Okay,
And
well,
avoiding
I
these
guess
situations.
I'll start. Advice on, I would say, like, leaving the situation. If you know it's getting to the point where things are just toxic, and I mean, talking is always a good way to go, but honestly, tried and true, ghosting. Just ghost them. Like, I know that sounds wrong.
I can't be
I
upset.
know it sounds wrong, but like,
I'm very guilty.
sometimes it just gets to that point where it's like, you know, they're not going to listen to you. You can pour your heart out to them, and they refuse to even acknowledge your side. So at that point, just wash your hands clean, step back.
So, the meme that I was talking about
Okay.
was specifically where it's just like, when you are suppressing the negative things that you could say, and then you end up not saying anything, and then they still interpret you not saying anything as negative, and so they get even like angrier with you because you're
Yeah.
not saying anything now.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Oh,
bro, what
Plenty of
you
times.
like?
What do you
Like,
want?
I'm not gonna say something nice because that's not how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
However, comma,
what do you want from
I'm
me?
definitely not about to say something mean because that's what you want from me. So let me not say nothing. But now my expression is, you know, it's off. So now you deserve an answer.
Well, because they're doing it because they want a reaction.
Yeah.
That's why.
And
They
you just
want a
don't
reaction.
give it to them, and I actually think that's
have
hilarious.
a lot
I
of
start to laugh
experience
on
in
the
this.
inside when they don't get the reaction they want, and I start to smile
I'm like,
and laugh. They get
I don't
so
know what to
mad.
tell you. People have literally projected their own anger and insecurities onto me. They're like, you're angry, you're acting moody, you're acting. I'm like, yo, I'm cool.
Yeah.
You're the one with the issue. and you're projecting it onto me. So
I'm gonna
remove myself from this situation because I don't know what's going on. But you need to stop. You need to stop. Like,
I feel you on that. Because, like, honestly, man, like, you kind of, like, you know, if we're going to go into the cliche hurt people type conversation, where, like, it is extremely hard to meet a lot of these situations with compassion, especially if you have personal stakes in them. And then you add pride, and then you add, you know, previous acts of kindness into that. Where you've tried to give people chances, you know, and they don't respond favorably, you kind of lose hope at a certain point. You know, it like we're not Jesus, you know, like you can't be perfect. You can't be. It's not gonna happen. You know, like me personally, I strive every single time, but hey, man, there's gonna be some times where, bro, forget you, man. like forget you for real. Like on that ghosting stuff. Like, yes, forget you. Like, and it's like for your own sake. It's not for their sake.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, hey man, I actually care about
like
you.
This will teach them.
And these, yeah. Like you have ground rules.
Just, I mean, I'm like, I do think it's for the betterment of your health, because I'm like, who is it benefiting? Like this constant.
You know what's crazy? On you saying it, who is it benefiting, right? I had this conversation with my pops. He said, why have this conversation that you feel needs to be had? So sometimes, right? Sometimes ghosting is enough to show a person that, hey, this behavior is not going to be tolerated. Sometimes that is the answer.
I believe
that. Now, I mean, of course, you know, with all videos,
try to come back into my life now after I stopped talking to them.
Yeah, with
hey, I've noticed
with all videos on YouTube, you know, there's going to be a bit of nuance, a little grain of salt. There's going to be a little, hey man, like she was saying earlier, don't take everything that we say as specific fact. No, you need to get tons of perspectives from multiple different people and decide how you feel about it. That way, you cannot be upset because somebody led you astray.
Yeah, we're all trying to navigate life.
Honestly,
nobody knows what they're doing. I promise you, bro. I'm just swimming, and I found out how to swim, and you know what I'm saying, I hit a brick wall, and I'm just like, all right, bro, let me go around this wall. Oh, I can bust through this wall. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, bro, I don't know where I'm going. Don't nobody really know where they're going. You know, we're all confused out here, but that's okay.
Like the dreams you had for yourself, like as a teenager, and where you are now. Do you ever think this is where you would have been? No, by any means.
But I'm so happy I'm where I am.
That's true.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's true.
I'm very happy.
For better or for worse.
Oh God.
You know, I don't know. And the thing is, right, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is kind of like vague life lessons. Like disguised into whatever conversation that we're having right now.
The elders for advice. What do they give you? What do they really give you? Like
lectures.
That all leads down the same path of just like, hey, just try your best. Just put in some effort.
That's because elders really realize that they don't have as much time to talk to as much as they would like. And I found myself.
Is that why we get the lectures?
I'm 22.
Sometimes they just don't have it.
Yeah.
They just don't, like, there are some people out there who, I mean, you could even say this in the case of, like, insuring yourself. Like, for me, for example, I'm early 20s, okay? There are people out there who are in their 40s and 50s, and they don't know about something like life insurance. Yeah. Or annuities or long-term care. Like sometimes you're just old and you just don't know it. And I know it's an old saying, but like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Sometimes they just don't want to learn.
Or sometimes they need to figure it out for them damn selves.
Or sometimes they need to figure, because I'm that type of person where it's like, let me fail.
Yeah.
Let me fail, let me fall flat on my face.
I learned better that way.
Brush myself off and let me keep it pushing, because if you try to lecture me, I'm gonna get pissed off.
I'm not gonna listen.
Or rather,
I'm gonna shut you out.
It's that whole, hey bro, like when old heads tell you, hey man, you're gonna remember me telling you this one day.
Yeah, no.
And it actually ends up being true. I hate it. I hate it whenever it happens, but I'm just like, God damn it, I gotta call them now.
See,
and tell them they was right.
I want to say that, but I am a very forgetful person. If I feel that it is not important, I forget the minute I turn away from you, I forget what you say.
Because I could just remember the fact that I was lectured.
Me?
What was I lectured about?
Yeah.
I can't tell you that, but I can remember I was lectured.
Sometimes we get. Sometimes I mean, look, bro, we young. You know, sometimes you just tune up.
Yeah.
And we talking right now, bro.
To do that.
You still
Absolutely.
listening? Hi, person.
I'm sorry, my parents. I've tuned you out a bit. You learn how to do it after a certain amount of time.
Yo, we in a relationship. I be tuning her out sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Look, bro, it's never.
It's funny when it comes back later. You're like, hey, did you hear about this thing? I'm just like, I told you that. Oh shit.
I don't remember who told me, but I remember hearing about this thing, and it's just like, nah, she told me. Like,
happens all the time.
For me, I've been forgetting who I tell.
That too. So you end up telling them like multiple times. Oh yeah.
I be asking multiple questions. Same person. I was like, I'm so sorry. I smooth forgot what you said.
Bro.
I'm so
it's
sorry.
not just names, but sometimes I'll be like, how did you get here? And it's just like, nah, bro, we had that same conversation last time. And it's just like,
did we?
Bro, I just want to talk to you, okay? I don't mean to be awkward or, weird or anything. I apologize.
Yeah, I just forget.
We just be trying our best.
I could just say early 20s is going to be a blur for me. My memory's already terrible.
My brain deemed it unimportant, so it just spit it out. It's
not needed.
Get rid of it. God, oh my god. I'm trying to think, is that it? Oh.
Next.
Any advice on avoiding it?
Oh, avoiding? Nah, bro, you're not gonna avoid these situations until you start to recognize them. You're really not gonna avoid them. Let's be honest. You don't know what you don't know.
I mean, other than trying to find the warning signs, red flags.
Understandable, but however, you can misinterpret red flags.
Absolutely, because I've definitely done that.
Yeah.
I've definitely misinterpreted red flags, and it's really hard. I feel like the only way you're gonna be able to see red flags is if you start to try to become friends with a friend.
Yeah.
Type of thing, and you're just like, oh, I want to see it, and then you're just like, no, that's odd.
I can understand.
This is odd. I don't.
Because I could also think of like your lateness being a red flag. I can think of.
But sometimes it's just bad habit.
Yes.
It's just bad.
Because I could think like, hey, you clearly don't care about this thing that we have set up, but at the same time, it's just
So I never mentioned this. I've always wanted to mention this in one of Jazz's videos, specifically. Funny enough, when it comes to texting, right? Please do not take texting as serious as a heart attack. Please do not do that. Okay. Sometimes you just don't be wanting to respond. Sometimes you're not in the mood to respond. All right, and it is what it is. You just wait a day, go ahead and respond back to him.
I'm super guilty.
Like, oh yeah, nah, bro, she's a horrible texter, dog.
Mainly because I just feel like just because I'm available, okay, it's just like I don't think that every second of every day
you deserve my attention.
Kinda. It's just like I will of course try to get back to you, but the fact that if you expect me to be on my phone right after that same time, I find being on my phone very draining.
And but then sometimes, like me personally, especially like sometimes you can be a very nervous person, especially trying to initiate not even a romantic relationship, just a friendship. You're nervous about what you're gonna say because you're worried that whatever you say is gonna be misinterpreted as something negative. It's kind of just a fail as you go situation. Like you should never be afraid of failing, because it's gonna happen. You're not gonna stop it from happening. So you might as well eat all your L's and eat your humble pie, like I've been doing. But also, just in terms of, all right, bro, I'm losing my train of thought, bro. I'll lose it. It's okay.
Just know if I text you within the day, I care about you. Just that's all I have to say.
See, you guys are nice. I'm on my phone a lot. Like a lot. I'm on my phone. If I don't respond to you, I don't want to talk to you.
And that's not a negative thing. That's not a negative thing. That's what I'm saying.
No, I understand that as well.
You just feel like
it's nothing against you. I can respond to every single other person, but I just don't want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. I'm just like, you know what? I don't feel like talking to so and so today.
Yeah.
So I'm just not going to.
Because sometimes those conversations be draining as well. Sometimes it's like especially when it's someone who has a certain problem, you told them like, hey, this is the solution, like, to your problem.
Oh, they don't want to listen.
They don't want to listen, but they keep asking, and I'm just like, why are you talking to me? That like,
see, I don't even offer them advice.
Exactly. Yeah, I give them. I'm just like, so you want to talk to me about something else? Because
I just be a sounding board. At some point, I'm just like,
yeah.
Okay, all right. Oh, that's wow, crazy. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I'm just.
How could I ever imagine?
I think the end all be all what we're talking about here is don't give your energy to people that you don't feel like giving your energy to in that moment. You know, sometimes this could be like a meant to be type situation, but also, you know, like she just said, give, receive. It's like, well, I mean, at the very least, reciprocate the same energy that you give out, you know, and then not only that, but I guess if we were going to transition this conversation to anything, it would be like vulnerability, you know, like don't be afraid to be vulnerable with people. And
it's hard.
It is hard. It's hard. It's not. It's like when people, you know, like the whole.
It takes a while for
cliche.
The shield to come down.
Yeah, like the whole cliche when I say hurt people. It's also like, well, I mean, just because you're hurt doesn't mean that you can stay hurt. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like take your time for yourself, but you shouldn't be scared to put your feelings back out there and attempt to be trusted, essentially. You know, where it's just like, I mean, because you never really know how people are going to react. You know, there's not, like, not everybody out here in the world is evil. You know what I'm saying? I actually kind of don't believe in the concept of evil anyway.
Just circumstances people are given.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Like,
I will say for sure, though, do not give your energy to somebody who never asks you back, how are you doing? If you are always the person that is saying, how are you? And they never ask about you, stop. Just stop. I'm gonna be honest, because they don't care. They do not care. You do not need to give your energy to them. That's point blank period.
I still be trying because I'm cordial, but also like.
Oh, I'll cut you off.
Yeah. Look, not everybody's me. Not everybody's me, dog. Like
rare. If you between, like I'm with her, I'm less. Yeah, if I ain't getting that same energy, sorry.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know I be in my mood sometimes. I just don't want to text people back.
That's why I say, you be moody, yo. It don't even be that I'm not next to my phone. It just be, hey, yo, I'm not talking to you, period. I'm not doing it. Why? It's not something that you did. It's just, I just want alone time on my phone. Hit that do not disturb button. Yeah, don't touch me. Don't talk to me.
Off.
Yes. I'd turn on do not disturb.
Unless I want to listen to like Pandora.
Yeah.
A little bit of music. But even then, if I really don't want to be disturbed, I'll just.
I be getting annoyed by music sometimes. It's just, I swear.
I've been like,
I really do.
Let me get that elevator music.
Like no words. I don't want to hear
that vibes playlist
like
is
y'all
really
talking
the
a
wave.
bit too much.
It's really the wave, bro. Get you some music that don't got no words.
The study lo-fi music is
that lo-fi music is on that shiggy. I'm saying, bro.
Oh my god! Like sometimes I really be like I play Animal Crossing, City Folk, listening to just Gracie Grace music. This like pure elevator music. I've been listening to that on to repeat for like 15 minutes.
I'm happy you said Animal Crossing. I'm a smasher, so Animal Crossing music sometimes is lost on me because I'm just like I done heard this same song 15 times.
I can't in a row. Nintendo players here. I can't.
All right, look, bro. Nintendo is the shitty too. Okay, let's not lie about this. Okay, they be doing some messed up stuff, but I do love me some Nintendo though. Not gonna act like you don't be playing Breath of the Wild like 24/7.
I haven't played it in a while.
I don't want to hear I've played it in a while.
I can't say that I'm not. I can't say I don't want to play other Breath of the Wild games because or Breath of the Wild, other Zelda games because of Breath of the Wild. So I can say I'm guilty, but Mario, yeah,
she was on a tear.
Mario's doing
Breath of the Wild specifically.
I'm probably at like 210 hours.
Oh god.
Probably 210. That's
probably
a generous
that it has
estimate.
like
that's just online.
That it has recorded. Yes.
Yeah.
and I mean like that's still enough. I haven't played it though.
Gosh.
Yeah. It's.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about video games. Yeah, bro, we nerds.
Yeah, I'm about to say I can go really.
Hey, yo, if you a
in-depth
nerd,
with video games.
hey, be loud and proud with it, baby.
If you a
Say it with
nerd,
your
go
chest.
ahead and drop it down in the comments below what's your favorite game to
Yes,
play.
please.
Do we have any more remarks about this topic?
What was the
Oh,
topic?
unless we were
Oh
flipping.
my god!
What was the topic?
I
No.
think it was just toxic friends.
Yes.
Just
No.
avoiding and leaving. That was about
Look,
it.
bro, I mean, the other thing that we was talking about was toxic family. You know,
The only
like,
thing in there is that blood.
is blood. Like, yeah, the only thing that, like, is really different would be, is blood thicker than water? And the answer is no.
No.
The answer is no. It, unfortunately, right, this is how I feel about the situation. You cannot pick your family, and I hold very high standards for the family that I keep around me. You know, however come, right? There will always come a point where, again, when it comes to reciprocal relationships as adults, right? If you're not getting the same relationship that you want out of a family member, right? You can limit your time around them, right? You're not obligated to do anything with said family member, much like you aren't obligated to do anything with said friend.
So how do you feel about bringing once you have children, bringing them around those family members that you do consider toxic? Would you still have them around them?
No.
Or
Absolutely not. I mean, y'all already know what my stance is on family, but cut them off. Personally, that's a personal thing. If they are toxic, cut them out of your life.
Yeah.
There is no exception. I honestly do not care what it is with parents. I don't care if it's sibling. I don't care if it's auntie, uncle, cousin, niece, nephew. If they are toxic to the point where they are destroying your mental health, cut them out. Because
so you would?
There is no way that I would ever allow my children to be in the same situation where you are contemplating ending your life because of how they treat you. Absolutely not.
You went straight to the gutter on that one.
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking that, but however, I mean, of
it
course,
could lead you down to that point.
Anybody could take you to that point.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say specifically family.
Oh, it's not
but-
specifically
it doesn't
family,
have
but
to
if the
be.
family is doing it, just like anybody else,
I mean, after a certain point, you constantly hearing those things, and that's from something that's basically at your front door. Like your family is usually in your immediate circle, so constantly hearing something like that would probably just ruin your mental state even
Something
more
like
and more.
what, though?
Okay, you want to get into specifics? Let's see here.
oh, I got a few examples.
Let's see. I hate the body shaming shit that family constantly does. Like first time you see me, not even hi, hello. It's just, hey, you put on a lot of weight and you look some type of way. It's just, it's that type of stuff. Like,
So I will add. Because,
Go ahead.
You know, because
go
it's
ahead,
very
devil's
easy,
advocate.
It's extremely easy for me to agree with both opinions, but I need to add some debate in here
Go ahead.
for funsies.
I know this is like
Yeah. So this is where I thrive. So do you believe that different? Because I have heard that different cultures treat things like body shaming or just even talking about the body in general as not that big of a deal. So
Regardless of what culture you come from, if you're pushing your child to ending your life, you need to stop.
well, 100%, right? And that's not. Why would I argue with something like that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But what I'm
But
arguing
you
with.
can say if it's taking a mental toll on the person to the point where you can see that they're depressed in a way.
Well, sometimes they don't. It's not that they don't recognize, it's that they don't care. Hey guys, so it's really shaky, but I'm just kind of gonna finish up here. The camera kept getting overheated. It was a really long video. There's a lot to talk about, so we just decided to go ahead and end it. And if you guys want to hear a part 2, which is like the continuation of Toxic Family, you can go ahead and drop it down in the comments below, or you can leave a hashtag part 2. Go ahead and hit me up on my Instagram or my Twitter, which I will go ahead and link in the description box. If you guys like this type of conversation, then go ahead and drop that down in the comments below. If you have any insight, anything that you wanted to add into there, then again, drop that down into the comments below. But that's gonna be it for this video. It was definitely long. It was definitely ranty. We're gonna try not to be that long. Again, try. Gonna have to find a way to edit things down. But that's really it. If you like this video, go ahead and like this video. Leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel because I always love to see happy, bright new faces, even though I can't really see your faces. Share this video with other people. Maybe other people want to get in on the conversation topic of toxic friends and potentially toxic family. Turn on the bell notification so that you post when another video. And I will see you guys later. Bye!